The cameras were rolling, the audience was buzzing, and the stage lights burned with an intensity that made every movement, every word, and every reaction visible to the world. It was supposed to be a polite, carefully managed panel, one of those national televised discussions where political figures sit side by side, share talking points, and avoid any real confrontation. But what unfolded that night would be remembered not for its careful diplomacy, but for a shocking exchange that shook the room to its core. Jill Biden, the First Lady of the United States, leaned forward, her voice sharp with authority, and ordered Senator John Kennedy out of the conversation. It was bold, unexpected, and for a moment, it seemed like the Louisiana senator had been put in his place. The audience gasped, the tension was unbearable, and everyone assumed Kennedy would simply bow his head, collect his notes, and walk off stage. But 49 seconds later, the room and the nation witnessed something no one saw coming. John Kennedy didn't move. Instead, he froze Jill Biden with a stare so steady, so calm, that it made the First Lady shift uncomfortably in her chair. There was no anger in his eyes, no loud rebuttal, just a piercing silence that seemed to carry more weight than 1,000 words. And then, in that stillness, Kennedy began to speak. His words weren't hurried, they weren't designed to entertain, and they weren't laced with the polished rhetoric of Washington consultants. They were raw, plain-spoken truths delivered in the unmistakable cadence of a man who had nothing to prove but everything to defend. He reminded Jill, the panel, and the audience that his presence there was not about pride, not about position, but about representing millions of ordinary Americans who felt their voices were being silenced. The audience leaned in. Jill Biden tried to interject, but Kennedy didn't raise his voice. He simply continued, explaining how too often in politics, the people who disagree are pushed out, ridiculed, or dismissed, as if their concerns don't matter. When you order me out, he said firmly, you're not just ordering me out, you're ordering them out. And they're watching tonight. His words cut through the noise, bypassing the political theater, reaching straight into the hearts of those listening at home. For a moment, even his harshest critics on the panel fell silent. Jill Biden, who had started the confrontation with confidence, now found herself face to face with a truth she couldn't dismiss. The clash wasn't about party lines anymore. It was about dignity, respect, and the idea that disagreement doesn't mean disloyalty. Kennedy began to share a personal story about a young single mother in Louisiana who had written to him weeks earlier. She worked 2 jobs, cared for 3 kids, and felt invisible to the powerful. She didn't care about political games or who scored points on television, she just wanted leaders who would listen, leaders who would F.